As Republicans scramble for votes for their health care legislation, one New Jersey mother's viral warning is getting a lot of attention about the importance to get it right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Roxanne Evans. This is New Jersey Tonight. Senate Republicans are still optimistic about their health care bill, despite announcing today that they'll delay a vote on the proposal until next month. One New Jersey mom says that is good news, but her fight for improved health care is far from over. News 12 New Jersey's Marcy Rubin has more from the mom whose tweets on the topic went viral. Marcy?
And Roxanne, those tweets and this mom's mission are all about her little boy who has a rare heart disorder. Just about to turn 3, little Ethan has already been through multiple surgeries and will need medical care his entire life. His mom, Ali Chandra, recently tweeted a copy of the bill for Ethan's latest open heart surgery. The tweets say that if the family did not have health insurance, it would cost nearly $250,000 out of pocket. Now, with coverage, it cost them $500. Even with employer health insurance, they fear a health care bill with benefit caps means Ethan and many others would lose coverage.
My messages on Twitter have been flooded with stories from around the country and around the world of people who have seen our story and just are sharing theirs with me and encouraging me to keep fighting and encouraging me to keep speaking out for their families.
And she says she will continue to do that. Ali says she was pleased to hear about the delay in the vote today, but says she is not calling it a win yet. She says even the current bill needs improvement, and you will hear more from this mom on a mission in our 10 o'clock show. For now, Marcy Rubin, News 12, New Jersey.
And now it's time for your weather on the ones, where we do have a few more clouds out there tonight. There are a few showers still holding on. Currently it's 75 degrees in Newark. We have a west-northwest wind at 12 miles an hour. Humidity is still quite low. So as we take a look at temperatures around the state, we have 70s now. We had high temperatures pretty much in the 70s for this afternoon, but a couple of areas started to cool with the rain. And this is what is left of a storm that was a little bit stronger west. As it slides east, it's weakening over towards Caldwell and Morristown here, but we could still see some pockets of heavy rain with anything that develops for the evening hours now. So once this passes, our sky will clear and we're looking at a really nice night. Sunshine on the way for tomorrow. We'll have much more on tomorrow's forecast coming up. That's your weather on the ones.
Michelle, thank you. A wrongful death lawsuit is filed against New Jersey Transit by the family of a woman killed during a train derailment last September in Hoboken. Fabiola Batard de Kroon was standing on a platform when she was struck by falling debris. It happened minutes after she had dropped off her 2-year-old daughter at daycare. More than 100 people were injured in that accident. It was later revealed that the engineer suffered from sleep apnea. A New Jersey judge is refusing to order the closure of a beach where 3 people died. The sand gave way beneath them as they walked near the water's edge at the Hereford Inlet Beach in North Wildwood. Now, he dismissed a request from the family of Brad Smith, who died in July of 2012. A lawyer for the Smith family says the ruling endangers future beachgoers. And 4 Jersey City officers suspended after a police chase that ended in a fiery crash are heading back to work. Meantime, the investigation into what happened continues. The officers will be placed on modified duty. They were suspended for breaking protocol. They have not been cleared of misconduct. And a guilty verdict is issued for a man who stabbed his roommate to death in Belleville. Edwin Andujar learned his fate today. He stabbed Thomas Parent 12 times as the victim sat in a wheelchair. It happened in August of 2014. Prosecutors say Andujar was living rent-free when he was asked by Parent to move out. That's when he became enraged. He now faces 30 years in prison. Firefighters in Passaic County mourn the loss of one of their own. Flags were lowered to have staff today outside Patterson Fire Headquarters. It's in honor of firefighter Kerry Rivera. The father of 3 was killed mountain biking yesterday at the Mills Reservation on the Cedar Grove-Montclair border. Patterson's fire chief spoke about their loss.
Very dedicated to his family. I can remember sitting here in the kitchen with him, talking to him about events he was taking his daughter to and stuff like that. So really prideful, you know, but you really can see he was a very dedicated family man.
The Cedar Grove Police Department, as well as the Essex County Sheriff's Office, continues to investigate. A class action lawsuit involving the Camden-based TD Bank would shell out $7.5 million to customers in New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. It all involves more than 1,200 coin counting machines or penny arcades. More than 1,000 of those machines were tested, and those test results show coming up short. Authorities say signs of neglect were found at 18 machines in the tri-state area. The penny arcades have since been pulled from the service at TD Bank branches. There is now a preliminary settlement before a federal judge. And 8 people are arrested for bilking the government out of more than $1 million are free on bail. The 4 couples include a prominent Lakewood rabbi and his wife. They're accused of wrongfully collecting $1.3 million in Medicaid, SNAP, HUD, and Social Security insurance benefits. New at 7, the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission reports it is having intermittent computer outages all across the state. Officials with the agency tell us all transactions are being processed at this hour. Locations across the state will be open until 7:30 this evening. Now, they encourage customers to visit their website for any transactions that can be done online. The second largest drug maker in the United States is now the victim of a cyber attack. Merck is based out of Kenilworth. The company said today its computer network was compromised as part of a global attack. Merck has global locations, including Ukraine, where an outbreak of malicious data scrambling software caused mass disruptions all across Europe. And another location affected the Chernobyl nuclear site. The virus reportedly hit systems monitoring radiation at the site of the former plant. The monitoring system was carried out manually after the attack. The source of these attacks are not yet clear. Coming up next on New Jersey Tonight, reaction from lawmakers after Republicans postponed a health care vote. Right now, the time is 7:06. You're taking a live look outside at the view from Jersey City. Beautiful.
And a very good Tuesday evening, everyone. I'm Don Smith in the traffic center, and this is your New Jersey Tonight traffic update. A little after 7:10 on this nice-looking Tuesday evening, a full complement of overnight construction. Let's get started with the Bayonne Bridge. That's out of service now both ways until about 5 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Go with the Goethals over the Outer Bridge crossing to get into and out of Staten Island. Also on First Avenue here in Raritan, that's now going to be shut down from 8 p.m. until 6 between West Somerset Street and 202 with the ongoing repaving operations. Once again, out there from 8 until about 6. Westbound 495 away from the Lincoln Tunnel, various lanes shut down, getting out towards North Bergen and Secaucus right around Route 3. And then after midnight, 15-minute traffic holds are possible until about 5. Now, 138, both directions here in Wall at Allenwood Road, just east of the Parkway. Road work from 8 p.m. until 6 in the morning. Your outbound Skyway has a little bit of road work setting up a little after 10 o'clock until just about 6. Go with Truck Routes 1 and 9 or the Bay extension of the Turnpike. And the lower roadway at 139, more commonly known as the covered roadway, that's closing up for repairs from 11 until 5. And make sure you join me bright and early tomorrow morning on your New Jersey Morning Show. We have all your live news, weather, and traffic. It all gets started at 5 a.m. here on News 12 New Jersey. Now here's a look at your weather on the ones with Roxanna.
Thank you, Dawn. 7:10 right now. It is 73 degrees in Bayonne. Wow, that's sort of surprising as we're heading towards July, Michelle.
Well, wait until this weekend because the heat and humidity comes back.
Oh, it does.
So this is
so not so fast.
This is nice. This is a little bit of a break. We do have scattered showers out there tonight, but Bayonne, we're looking okay. It looks like we are seeing some of those clouds kind of spilling over from those showers that are, or storms rather, that are weakening. We were watching this cluster earlier on as it was farther west. We had the possibility of some hail with it, but looking weaker now as it slides east. It looks like Newark, you may see a little bit of that wet weather before this fully dissipates. And we're looking at better weather west, but there's still hit or miss showers or storms lining up in Pennsylvania right now. So we're not out of the woods completely, but it's 73 in Peak West. It's 68 right now in Andover. As we slide farther east, here's that batch of wet weather. West Orange, Cedar Grove area. Harrison, you're at 75. It's 73 in Teaneck. And sliding a little farther south, looking good. Ewing is warmer at 74. 74 right now. Greenbrook cooler at 69. And Monmouth and Ocean counties down the shore looking pretty good right now. Avon by the Sea is at 75. And Ocean County, we have a little bit more of the same there. All of our temperatures cool off tonight. We'll talk about how low they go coming up. That's your weather on the ones.
Thank you, Michelle. An emergency meeting at the White House between the president, the vice president, and Republican senators. Now, this is video of lawmakers heading to that meeting on a tour bus to discuss health care legislation and where to go from here. It comes hours after Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said he will delay a vote until after their 4th of July recess. Republicans currently do not have enough support for their bill named the Better Care Reconciliation Act of 2017. The GOP can only afford to lose 2 votes from their party. Currently, at least 4 oppose the measure. McConnell says he's optimistic.
This is a very complicated subject. I remember how challenging it was for the Democrats when they were enacting this back in 2009 and 2010. It's a big, complicated subject. We've got a lot of discussions going on, and we're still optimistic we're going to get there.
President Trump tweeted this about 40 minutes ago. With 0 Democrats to help and a failed, expensive, and now dangerous Obamacare as the Dems' legacy, the Republican senators are working hard. Shortly after Senator McConnell's announcement, his counterpart, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, came out and blasted the bill. He says it's aimed at doing one thing: helping the wealthy. Well, Senator Bob Menendez took to the floor of the Senate a short time ago to talk about the bill. He says it's people on Medicaid that will suffer under the proposed bill.
Medicaid provides seniors with a dignity in the twilight of their lives. Medicaid provides for pregnant mothers who may not have insurance elsewhere. Medicaid takes care of special education children in our schools. And yes, Medicaid takes care of the poor. And Medicaid expansion helped those who go to work in some of the toughest jobs in my state and in our country have the dignity of having health care and being able to stay healthy so they can work.
And Senator Cory Booker tweeted his thoughts. He said, quote, "They're scrambling for votes. We must rally more resistance. They're whipping GOP senators. We must rouse public opposition. Stay vigilant." Governor Christie also expressing his reservation specifically about Medicaid. Under the proposed plan, states that expanded Medicaid under the ACA would lose hundreds of millions in federal funding, and that includes New Jersey.
Obviously, it's a concern to me. Anything that impacts Medicaid will be a real burden on the people of the state of New Jersey. So I'm concerned about it. But again, we'll have to see what actually comes out of there.
The CBO projects the Senate bill would cut Medicaid funding by $772 billion over the next decade. And another former Republican candidate for president, weighs in on the debate. Ohio Governor John Kasich, he held a joint news conference, today with Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper. He calls the bill not good enough, and he says the issue isn't a partisan one for him. Attorney General announces New Jersey will sponsor its largest gun buyback ever. It will take place on Friday, July 28th and Saturday, July 29th at churches in Newark, Trenton, and Camden. Residents can turn in up to 3 firearms and receive as much as $200 for each one. The events are no questions asked. You are watching News 12 New Jersey, 15 minutes past the hour. A Supreme Court surprise today. The judges will hear New Jersey's case for sports betting. Reaction to that straight ahead. While stocks sinking today, weighed down by tech stocks and by the Senate's decision to postpone that health care vote. 3 major indices all pulling back today, with the Dow closing down 99 points, finishing at 21,311. Google seems to have gotten itself into some trouble. European antitrust regulators hit the online giant with a $2.7 billion fine. The European Commission says Google used its search results to steer customers to its own shopping platform, which it says violates antitrust rules. While the company can't appeal the decision, it has not yet said whether it will. Sprint is reportedly in talks with Comcast and Charter Communications. The Wall Street Journal first broke this story, saying it could increase the cable company's plans, to offer wireless service. Discussions are expected to carry on through July. And the world's first ATM, or automated teller machine, is celebrating its 50th birthday today. The machine first made its debut in 1967 at a bank branch in London before making its way to the U.S. 2 years later. There are currently 3 million ATMs across the globe, nearly 500,000 of them right here in the good old U.S. of A. Facebook reaches a milestone. The social media company announced it now has more than 2 billion daily users. CEO Mark Zuckerberg posted today that he's proud of the role his company is playing in connecting people around the world. Facebook users will likely see a personalized video celebrating the milestone in the next few days. Well, using augmented reality to size up what matters, plus a luxury electric vehicle that could redefine the segment. Here is News 12 New Jersey's Eric Landskroner with Tech Check.
In today's Tech Check, a different kind of wearable tech just in time for you to safely enjoy that summer sun. Take a look at this. This is My UV Patch. The company that makes it says that it's the world's first connected, stretchable UV patch. It has sensors built right into it. So when you apply your sunscreen, here's what you do. You apply it right over the patch as well. So when it's time to apply, in theory, the patch knows. It changes colors when exposed to the sun's rays, and that, in tandem with the app on your phone, will tell you when it's time to reapply, or maybe when you've just had enough sun for the day. The sensor isn't out yet. They're taking pre-orders right now. Augmented reality growing in popularity, and one app developer is using it to make measuring fun. Take a look at this app. It's called AR Measure, which claims that it turns your phone into a ruler that you can use anytime, anywhere. You just point your phone and click a point to start measuring. You measure almost anything there. The app uses the power of augmented reality to measure the distance between points in 3D space. All right, I'm very excited about this next piece of news. Not that I'll ever be able to afford one, but it's nice to dream. Take a look at this. Aston Martin announcing that it'll start building an all-electric Rapide 4-door in 2019. What a car. That's, by the way, Rapide with a capital E at the end for electric vehicle. This may redefine luxury electrics. And that is Tech Check.
Eric really likes that car, Michelle. So do I.
Yes, it does look very nice.
A lot of people like this weather, too.
Yes, in the short term, it's been a little bit below average. We are dealing with low humidity. But as we get towards the end of the week, well, summer-like pattern returns, and we're going to be dealing with heat, humidity, and thunderstorms. And we have a little bit of that today. I mean the storm part of it. Across the Northeast, most of this activity has been to our north across New England. Nasty storms cutting through Connecticut, right around Hartford. They had some small hail with those storms. We still have the potential to see a little bit of hail here locally, and at any moment these storms could pulse up, and heavy downpours also a threat. So just keep an eye out for those. Here's your forecast in Belmar going forward. Any clouds that are out there now clear up nicely, and our temperatures will drop once again. So a really comfortable overnight period for us, a night that you don't have to worry about the air conditioning. So clearing out all around the state as well as the Northeast, and we stay that way for tomorrow. Sunshine is on the way, a cool start in the morning. By the afternoon, we're back into the 70s and 80s. Take a look at that 7-day forecast. 90s could be in our future. That's your weather on the ones.
Thanks, Michelle. 7:23 right now. Now, Serena Williams is respectfully firing back at tennis great John McEnroe. During an interview, he said Serena was easily the best player in women's tennis. But if she competed against men, he said she would rank around 700. Well, Serena took to Twitter saying, "Dear John, I adore and respect you, but please, please keep me out of your statements that are not factually based." The 35-year-old has won 23 singles, grand slams, and 14 more in doubles. But currently, she's not competing because she is having her first baby. Congrats to her. And today, this is the cover of Vanity Fair. She announced her pregnancy back in April. She tells the magazine she did a double take when she saw the positive pregnancy test because it came just before the Australian Open. Serena ended up winning. All around. A surprise announcement today. The Supreme Court says it will hear New Jersey's appeal on sports betting. Sports director Nick Medanis here with more on that. Nick?
Roxanne, after repeated rejection, there is now finally reason to think that legal sports betting is on the way. The fight going 5 years. Today's decision unexpected because President Trump's administration recently said to the Supreme Court, don't take this case. The court often listens. A win for New Jersey is expected to be a boost for casinos and racetracks. Major leagues have been fighting this, though, twice suing Governor Christie. Officials at Monmouth Park have remained steadfast. This is going to get done.
First of all, I always thought that eventually sports betting will be legal in this country. But now that timetable has moved up substantially.
For sports betting having a future in New Jersey, I'm encouraged by it. We're not declaring victory, but at least we're in the game, and that's what we want to be.
Already we see illegal bets, Roxanne, in the billions each year. This case could be heard as early as this fall. Stay tuned.
Well,
Roxanne.
we certainly hope so. It's like a tennis match. It keeps going back and
yeah,
forth.
it never ends.
It never ends. Thanks, Nick. All right, we will be right back with your top stories. You can also find the very latest on news12.com. You are watching New Jersey Tonight. Have a beautiful evening, everyone.
Republicans ditched their vote on the controversial health care bill as support within the ranks wavers. Tonight, reaction among New Jersey lawmakers from both sides of the aisle. I'm Brian Jenkins, and this is New Jersey Tonight. The GOP delays its groundbreaking health care vote by a couple of weeks. This as more Republicans, including Governor Christie, express concerns over the bill's Medicaid cuts. News 12 New Jersey's Katie Kairos has the latest.
31 states and D.C. expanded Medicaid under the Affordable Care Act, and the rollback of the program under the Senate repeal bill is set to put them back hundreds of millions of dollars. The Senate has now delayed a vote on the bill after more Republicans began to dissent, including Senator Susan Collins of Maine, whose state also opted into the Medicaid expansion.
It's difficult for me to see how any tinkering is going to satisfy my fundamental and deep concerns about the impact of the bill.
Governor Christie echoed some of her concerns about the bill. New Jersey is one of the states in the Medicaid expansion, though he says it's clear negotiations are far from over and the bill is changing by the day.
If the Medicaid expansion is changed without an appropriate transition and ability for us to be able to deal with those issues, that's a problem.
New Jersey taxpayers would have to come up with $810 million to make up for the loss of those federal funds or see health care ended for some of the poorest residents. That's according to the Center for Budget and Policy Priorities. But the Congressional Budget Office also found the bill would lower deficits by $321 billion and premiums by 20% over the next decade, and many Republicans want to see those goals accomplished. The governor says he's discussed his concerns with officials in Washington.
Okay, I've expressed my opinion as a governor that I'm concerned about proposed Medicaid changes. I'm not going to go down to Capitol Hill and pour gasoline on myself and light myself on fire.
Katie Kairos, News 12, New Jersey.
Republican leader Senator Mitch McConnell says the health care vote will be postponed until after the July 4th recess.
And temperatures today running a little bit below average. We had highs here in the 70s, a little uncharacteristic for late June, but we also had some showers and thunderstorms. Now, all of this will begin to wrap up over the next hour or so. So we're looking at better weather locally here. Our sky will start to clear, and when that happens, cooler temperatures will settle on in. Already much cooler to our north right now. So our temperatures once again tonight, tonight, dropping into the 50s to near 60 degrees. Looking good for tomorrow, and by tomorrow night, those temperatures start to rise. Overnight lows not quite as cool, and that also goes over to our daytime temperatures for the end of the week. We'll have much more on that part of the forecast coming up, and that's your weather on the ones.
Thanks, Michelle. North Wildwood police are investigating a body that washed up on the beach Sunday between 24th and 25th Avenues. No obvious signs of trauma were visible when the body was found. Police say they're still trying to identify the victim. They released this picture of his shorts, hoping someone will recognize them. A man from Newark admits he was the driver of the getaway car during a deadly shooting spree. Kareen Mitchell says he was behind the wheel in July of 2015 when Todd West of Elizabeth randomly picked out his victims. 4 people from New Jersey and 3 people from Pennsylvania were killed. West pled guilty to the Pennsylvania killings last year and still awaits trial in the New Jersey shootings. Newark police investigate a murder on Avon Avenue. It was the body of Javon Johnson that was discovered yesterday. They took Irv Joaquin Pryor into custody. We're told the two were related. This man, Shaquan Wiley, was arrested for firing a weapon in Newark. It happened on Sunday along South 16th Street. Police say Wiley shot at another man and missed. Both took off before police arrived, but Wiley was picked up today. The Supreme Court says it will not hear the case of a New Jersey man trying to sue the FBI. Amir Mishal claims that he was falsely imprisoned and tortured in Africa. The High Court ruled that the case cannot move forward because the alleged incident took place overseas during a terrorism investigation. FBI agents interrogated the man and accused him of receiving training from al-Qaeda. He was later released after authorities determined he was not a threat. Governor Christie will not meet with the former star of Dog the Bounty Hunter to discuss the state's bail reform. Dwayne Dog Chapman was in Trenton yesterday meeting with lawmakers about the reforms that went into effect this year. While Christie supports the state's new system of letting courts rate defendants to determine security risk before deciding on bail, Chapman argues that there's a constitutional right to bail. New Jersey turns to its prison inmates to get some of the renovation work done on the State House. The Department of Corrections says inmates will work under the state's Debt Corps program, which allows towns and state agencies to use inmate labor for projects. The program employs 900 incarcerated men and women across the state for projects that help them develop usable skills. They'll work to move the furniture, refurbish it, and move it back in when the renovation is complete. Only minimum security inmates are eligible for that program. 26 police officers in Bergen County have been laid off in the midst of budget cuts at a union deal that failed by 1 vote. The officers turned in their equipment yesterday. The Bergen County Sheriff says the layoffs are the result of new state mandates.
The state now, where it was suggested in the past, now has mandated a sheriff's officer in every courtroom. We did not have them in the civil courts.
Union officials dispute that claim. We're told a proposed deal last week would have prevented the layoffs by turning the police officers into sheriff's officers. Well, the time is right to say goodbye, says the longtime owner of a Kingsburg bakery. Dixie Lee Bakery on Main Street has been serving customers for 85 years. Sal Giovine, the longtime baker there, says at 68 years old, it's time for him to retire. He says if he can't find a buyer soon, the bakery will close.
Well, I'm hoping that somebody come to rescue, Dixie Lee, because people in Kingsburg, they deserve a bakery, and so far they had a good bakery with me. So I hope somebody out there come in and keep Dixie Lee alive.
Giovine says if he can find a buyer, he has one rule. The black and white cookie recipe must remain the same as it has been for the last 85 years. Demolition work on the Bayonne Bridge comes to a halt when cars are damaged by falling debris. Chunks of concrete reportedly fell off the bridge yesterday morning, damaging 3 vehicles. That bridge connects Staten Island with Bayonne, and Staten Island residents say the falling debris has only gotten worse. Officials say work on the bridge is now suspended until a contractor submits a plan to prevent those types of accidents. Coming up on New Jersey tonight, a lawsuit is filed against NJ Transit after a woman's death during a train derailment. Plus, a bus smashes through the front of a business. A look at what caused that wreck. A new study by NASA finds that wildfires in North America are mainly caused by lightning. Researchers made the discovery while looking into the cause of recent fires in northern Canada and Arkansas. They say the storms have been happening since 1975, and they warn that the trend will likely continue. NASA says the fires could even alter northern landscapes. A new island has formed off the North Carolina coast. It's a mile long and has emerged at the tip of Cape Point. Officials say the current around that island is as strong as a rip current, and they're encouraging visitors not to swim to it. Locals say they've also seen sharks and large stingrays near that island. Meteorologist Michelle Powers has your weather on the ones. Michelle, are we still looking nice for tomorrow?
It does. It looks really nice. And once the clouds and the storms that are out there now clear out, we're basically home free. So the weather tonight quiets down. We are looking at a mainly clear sky with temperatures that are once again on the cooler side. It's another night. You don't have to worry about the air conditioning. You can just open up those windows and enjoy. About 56 in Butler, cooler still in Augusta at 52. And in Linden, your low temperature about 60. 57 in East Brunswick, 56 in Hopewell, 53 in Somerville, 60 in Long Branch overnight, 57 in Lakewood, and as we round out our tour here in Ocean County, 57 in Waretown. So these temperatures a little bit below average, daytime highs a little bit below average. When do we get back on track? Well, I think with the sun coming our way for tomorrow, we could be looking at somewhat warmer temperatures, but the real warmth comes our way for the end of the week. So for tomorrow, we're looking at highs in the 70s and 80s, 77 in Denville to about 79 in Linden. There could be a few spots that actually hit 80 or 82. Hopewell 77, upper 70s East Windsor, Farmingdale, and Lakewood approaching 80 degrees for the afternoon. Your full 7-day forecast is up next, and that's your weather on the ones.
Thanks, Michelle. Family of the woman killed when a New Jersey Transit train crashed at Hoboken Terminal last year says NJT must be held accountable for her death. Her husband has filed a lawsuit against the transit agency. News 12 New Jersey's John Bathke has the details.
Fabiola Bitar-DeCroon, a young mother on her way to work, lost her life last September here in the terminal behind me. She was the only person killed among more than 100 injured. Now her husband has filed a wrongful death lawsuit. Fabiola Bitar-DeCroon died after she was struck by falling debris. The 34-year-old mother had just dropped off her daughter at daycare that September morning. She was on the platform at Hoboken Terminal when Pascack Valley train 1614 failed to stop. Now, the late woman's husband, Adrianus DeCroon, has filed a wrongful death lawsuit in Hudson County against New Jersey Transit. The suit claims the engineer, Thomas Gallagher, was operating the train at, quote, excessive, careless, and reckless speeds. The train's speed surged to more than twice the legal limit of 10 miles per hour right before the crash, causing extensive terminal damage, which in turn caused DeCroon's death, according to the suit. The suit also alleges New Jersey Transit could have prevented this if it had installed positive train control to automatically stop the train, and that a second crew member should have been alongside the engineer. As for New Jersey Transit, it would not comment on the lawsuit. In Hoboken, John Bathke, News 12, New Jersey.
The state attorney general announced today that New Jersey will sponsor its largest gun buyback ever. It will take place on Friday, July 28th and Saturday the 29th at churches in Newark, Trenton, and Camden. Residents can turn in up to 3 firearms and receive as much as $200 for each one. And authorities say there will be no questions asked.
From what we've witnessed and from what our community partners tell us, these buybacks really do have the effect of bringing people together.
The gun buyback will be held at the Greater Abyssinian Baptist Church on Lyons Avenue in Newark, the Friendship Baptist Church on Perry Street in Trenton, and Antioch Baptist Church on Ferry Street in Camden. We'll drive around Long Branch's lower Broadway neighborhood and you might not even recognize it. For the last 3 months, demolition crews have flattened dozens of dilapidated buildings and cleared out acres of land. Long Branch Partners spent nearly $2 million on demolition. Only one building remains, and that's the radio tower headquarters. Mayor Adam Schneider said it's just the beginning of the Lower Broadway redevelopment project.
Downtowns, people are returning to them. They made sense because of where they were located, how you could come and go, you know, traffic issues. You don't want to go to the highway. You don't want to go to the mall. People want to buy, you know, online. Downtowns make sense. It's where you can eat. It's where you can shop. It's where you can see your neighbors.
The mayor hopes to have the developers' plans approved by the fall and construction on the new townhomes, shops, and businesses beginning by next summer. Question: what's the one thing you should do when you stop your car? Put the brake on. A police officer forgot to do that, and the results, well, you'll have to wait and see. Recapping our top stories on New Jersey tonight, the warning from a New Jersey mother goes viral as lawmakers haggle over what to do with health care. A mom from Middlesex sends out an image of her son's medical bills, and that's garnered quite the response online. We'll have more on that story ahead. A wrongful death lawsuit is filed against New Jersey Transit by the family of a woman killed during a train derailment last September in Hoboken. Fabiola Bitar de Kroon was standing on a platform when she was killed by falling debris. 4 Jersey City police officers suspended after a police chase that ended in a fiery crash are headed back to work. The officers will be placed on modified duty. They were suspended for breaking protocol and have not been yet cleared of misconduct. Bill Cosby's heading back to court, this time for another allegation of sexual assault. The newest lawsuit filed by Judy Huff. She claims Cosby assaulted her at the Playboy Mansion back in 1974 when she was just 15 years old. This morning, a judge set a start date for the trial, July 30th of next year. That trial could be held in California, and it comes less than 2 weeks after a mistrial was declared in the sexual assault case brought by another woman, Andrea Constant. Reality Winner was in a federal court in Augusta today. Her attorneys filed a motion for a protective order to determine whether information that was leaked to the media can be used in court because it's already in the public domain. A trial date of October 23rd has been set for the woman. She's accused of leaking a classified NSA memo to The Intercept, an online news outlet. The White House issues a stern warning to Syria over what it says are potential preparations for another chemical weapons attack. Now, this comes just a few months after President Trump launched a missile strike on a Syrian airbase. That came in response to Bashar al-Assad's attack on civilians.
I believe that the goal is at this point not just to send Assad a message, but to send Russia and Iran a message that if this happens again, we are putting you on notice.
New York City subway passengers were in for a scare this morning when a train derailed in Harlem. The derailment caused a power outage and suspended service for 4 lines. Heavy smoke could be seen inside the train. At least 3 passengers were being treated for minor smoke inhalation, but no other injuries were reported. Officials are still investigating the cause of that accident. Meteorologist Michelle Powers has your weather on the ones. It's been pretty nice today, Michelle.
It was, except areas that saw a shower or a thunderstorm.
Here or there?
Here or there, really. It was so minor. But come tomorrow, we are dry, so no chance of rain. As we take a look at your forecast, here's the rundown. Anything that's out there now clears out nicely. Temperatures on the chilly side again overnight into the morning, and beautiful sunshine coming our way for tomorrow. The end of the week, though, we need to talk about this. The heat starts to come back, the humidity builds, and along with that, showers and thunderstorms. So the sky clears out overnight into the morning. High pressure will be just to our south. We will begin to see winds change direction. They will start to come out of the south and the west again, and that really brings back the humidity. So for tonight, it's still really low. It's comfortable. Showers and storms wrapping up, and the sky clears late. Temperatures 52 to about 62 degrees. Winds remain out of the west. They're out of the west for tomorrow during the day, and that means more dry weather. Temperatures 70s, low 80s. It's a gorgeous day, but the humidity comes back a little bit by tomorrow night. Temperatures won't be as low, and that's a sign of changes coming our way. So during the day by day, temperatures will warm, and at night too. Thursday, mid and upper 80s. Friday, near 90. There could be a shower on Friday. A thunderstorm chance on Saturday, but right now, Sunday, they could be a little bit more widespread. We'll have much more on that coming up, and that's your weather on the ones.
Wow, that dash cam video shows a bus crash last month in Detroit. We just got that video in. It happened after an 18-year-old driver sped through an intersection. The bus crashed through a brick wall and came to a stop inside a store. No one was killed in that wreck. The bus driver was knocked unconscious, and we still don't know whether any charges were filed against any of the drivers. An Ohio sheriff's deputy conducting a traffic stop forgets one small thing: the brake. His vehicle was caught on camera rolling away from him in the middle of the road. He was talking with a driver he'd stopped when he noticed a runaway cruiser. He dashed after it and managed to stop it in the middle of the intersection. No one was hurt, and everybody learned a valuable lesson. Well, this next story can only be described as a really good try. A man in Minnesota was arrested on an outstanding warrant, and before being taken into custody, he handed officers this: a get-out-of-jail-free Monopoly card. Now, the card does say it may be kept until needed or traded. Police posted the picture online. They say they gave the man an A for effort. A flight with China Southern Airlines is delayed several hours because of an elderly passenger. Before she boarded, she was seen tossing coins into the plane's engines for good luck, she said. Well, it wasn't. Passengers were pulled off as authorities inspected the engine for hours. Still not clear whether any charges were filed against that woman. And a double take unfolds for folks in Vegas. A missing letter has turned the Bally's line into Balls, Las Vegas. Officials say they took down the 300-pound Y because it was leaning in the wind and posed a safety risk. Caesars Entertainment plans to replace that letter tomorrow. Meantime, tourists are getting quite a kick. Well, a shark gets a little too close for comfort on a beach in Spain. He appeared to struggle to get back into deeper water and eventually did. But swimmers panicked and headed for safe ground. Lifeguards closed the beaches as experts were called in. They found that shark and captured it. Patterson firefighters lose one of their own to a tragic death while mountain biking. And Kingsburg residents with a sweet tooth are concerned one of their oldest bakeries may close.